Don't we all want to be this magnetic, femme fatale, dark feminine, mystical, super confident woman? But the question is where to start. Like, what can we actually do in our day-to-day life to activate the dark feminine within us? Well, I will tell you in this video, but first, hi, my name is Yula. I'm a shadow worker, womb worker, intuitive singer, and I support women on their journeys to reclaim their voice, to reclaim their powerful selves, and to step into the fully embodied woman that is within all of us. So at first I would like to give you a little disclaimer, because don't get discouraged by the pictures and images and videos you see out there of dark feminine celebrities or this dark femme fatale image that is being sold to you. Because my love, the dark feminine is very unique to each and every woman. And it is super important that you find your own unique expression of the dark feminine and do not copy this image that is being sold to you in the media. And another disclaimer is that we all have an energetic preference. Meaning we do all have the dark feminine and the light feminine within us. However, for every woman it is very different where she feels naturally at home. For me personally, I feel at home in the dark feminine. I am a Scorpio. I have 5 planets in Scorpio. So that is the energy where I feel at home. I feel at home in the darkness, in the shadows, which doesn't mean that I don't have a light feminine side. I do have a light feminine side that's very silly and childish. However, this is more the vibe that I feel at home in. And so this can be totally different to you, and it does not matter. Nothing is better or worse or anything like that. Actually, it can also be really beneficial that if you are more at home in your light feminine, to connect to your dark feminine, to come a bit more into balance. And the other way around, if you're more in your dark feminine, it's very beneficial for you to connect to the light feminine, to just get that equilibrium. So moving on, what is the dark feminine? The dark feminine is, as I said in the beginning, very magnetic. She is confident in her skin. She talks with confidence, having this quiet confidence where you don't have to be the loudest in the room to exude confident energy. She also knows exactly what she wants, exactly what she needs, and exactly what she desires. She sets really strong boundaries, and it is easy for her to set them. She's very clear in her communication. She knows her worth, and she doesn't entertain less than her worth. And probably the most important part is that she knows herself so deeply because she has seen her trauma. She has been in the depths of her being. She has faced her fears, and she has identified the things that she wants in life. Something that is also important to know is that there is an unbalanced and a balanced version of the dark feminine, or a healthy and an unhealthy version of the dark feminine. So the unhealthy expression of the dark feminine can be very emotionally manipulative, or she can use sex to manipulate, or she can be very deceptive, betrayal, lying. She can get very defensive. So let's get to the juice. How can we actually connect to the dark feminine? What are actionable steps that you can take in your life to connect to that juicy energy? And the first step is, and I said it before, shadow work. So shadow work is something so incredibly valuable that has changed my life forever, and that I also use with my clients, with women that I walk with. I use it in my own life. And so what is shadow work, you may ask? Shadow work is making the unconscious conscious. So taking the things from our subconscious and bringing them to light. The subconscious is the darkness, and we bring them to light, integrating them into our systems so we no longer suppress, deny, and disown these aspects of ourselves. So a practical example for that would be in your childhood, you're very expressive, you're very loud, and your parents keep telling you that you should be quiet, that you're annoying, that you should shut up, blah, 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 blah. So when that happens to us in childhood, what we do is we take that aspect of being loud and expressive and we push it away deep down into the subconscious, and we just never look at it again, and we become quiet, we become shy. And so what you do in shadow work is you take that aspect and you look at why did you suppress it in the first place. So going back to the memory with the parents that shut you down, and then healing that memory. And while you're healing that memory, you are reintegrating this aspect into your psyche and bringing it to the forefront again. And that then would help you to be more expressive again and to not care if someone says you're too loud and to really make that a part of your personality again because it's natural to you. And as I said before, the dark feminine, she knows herself and she only knows what she desires and wants and needs because she has been in her internal world looking for these things, healing her trauma. And when you look at your trauma, you also start to release insecurities. And insecurities are the opposite of confidence. If we feel insecure, we are meh. If we feel confident, we are open, we are facing the world. So shadow work is where it's at if you want to connect to your dark feminine. And shadow work is very complex, so this is probably a whole different video that I will make, so stay tuned for that. Step number 2 is embodiment. So embodiment is also super important because what it actually means is that we are embodying a certain energy. And it's like a muscle, we can train it. You can train yourself to be confident. You can train yourself to exude a certain energy, whatever energy you want to exude. In this case, it's the dark feminine. So what we need to do is through embodiment, we can take on these traits of the dark feminine and express them with our body, with our voice. Especially our voice is such an important and overlooked aspect of us because the way you speak and the quality of your voice and the quality of your communication and your setting boundaries and all of these things are so important and so overlooked. So my favorite way to work with embodiment is through dance. So what you want to do is to look for music that activates this energy within you. And this can be very unique to you, depending on what music you like as well. And look for music that feels sensual, that is a bit slower, that feels really juicy, and where you can have really slow movements so you can really get into this snaky kind of vibes. Then you take your headphones, you put them in, you put a blindfold on, and before you start, you take some moments to arrive and to really get a little bit into this meditative state. And while you're meditating, you can visualize your own dark feminine energy in front of you and see, what does she look like? What does she feel like? How does she move? And then you slowly start learning from her energy and embodying it through your own body. And you can start very slowly, very, very slowly, and then you can really just explore your own body, explore the movement, explore the expression, and try to really have a blindfold on, because if you do it in front of a mirror, you will probably be very occupied with how it looks rather than how it feels in your body, and you tend to judge yourself and it gets you out of the moment. So if we want to master the dark feminine energy, it is a feeling, it is in your body. So step number 3 is archetype work. I love archetype work so much, and it is a big part of my own practice and the practices that I do with other women and in my workshops. And the archetype you want to work with the dark feminine, is the wild woman. So first of all, what are archetypes? So archetypes, we have many different archetypes within us. So we have, for example, the lover. She holds the sensuality. I'm not going to go into detail about every archetype because it's a lot. We have the lover, we have the mother, we have the maiden, the queen, the witch, the wild woman, and we have the wise woman. And so each of these archetypes holds a very specific energy that helps us to embody the full spectrum that we all have. So for example, the wise woman is the wisdom keeper, so she holds all the wisdom that we have learned throughout our lives. The lover holds a sensuality, sexuality, pleasure. And the wild woman is a very raw, unapologetic energy. So she does not care what people think about her. She's totally uncensored and just authentically herself. She's this dark, wild energy. She doesn't care about other people, what they think. And she also just lives by her own rules and on her own terms. So she holds a lot of the dark feminine energy. So if you want to connect to her, I recommend doing that in meditation/journaling. So there is a practice that is called stream consciousness writing, where we have a journal in front of us and we have journal prompts. And we are basically answering these journal prompts with our subconscious mind. So we are getting into this meditative state. And then when we just let our body talk, or we can also channel different energies. You can also write with your non-dominant hand. So if you're writing usually with your right hand, you can write with your left hand. So because that non-dominant hand is connected to the subconscious, so it's easier for you to access your subconscious through your non-dominant hand when you write. And so you can ask your wild woman questions. You can ask her, what is your gift to me? What do I need to learn? Where are blockages? There are many different things you can ask her, and I actually have a little gift for you. So down in the description box, you will find free journal prompts that you can use in your practice to connect to your inner wild woman, to activate the dark feminine within you. Also, I am creating inner journey music on my second channel that is quite dark and quite deep. So if you want to use that maybe for your embodiment practice with the dark feminine, check that out. You will find it down below. And yes, these are the 3 actionable steps that you can take to connect to your dark feminine energy. Thank you so much. I send you so much love, and I see you in the next one.